I got 0 viewers right now. So I normally start talking. Nobody even hears it till I repost it. And probably people don't watch the repost because a lot of when I go live is me just riding in the truck and not saying nothing. So I'm thinking about kind of waiting till I get at least one viewer to start really talking about anything of any significance. But also, there's a limit to my patience before I just start talking anyway. So I'm going to start talking anyway. I saw something today where somebody wearing Western styled clothes said that white people don't have no culture. And on every continent, people wear Western style clothes. And I would just say that white culture is so predominant that to some degree, every nation in the world is influenced by it or converted by it. You know, things like freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, these concepts, debating itself. You know, white culture is everywhere in the world so much and is influencing every other culture so much that it's like walking around in air and saying air doesn't exist, breathing air and saying it doesn't exist. And then there's individual subcultures. Are you really saying that there isn't a special type of Dutch architecture or that Scottish people don't wear kilts and bagpipes? But they said it with so much confidence that they was right at the same time. But whatever. I've got some good news. I woke up this morning coughing, and I coughed up some stuff, but no blood. This is the first day since I stopped smoking that when I wake up, I don't cough up blood. Now, one of these days, I coughed up blood in the morning. I stopped coughing up blood. And then toward the end of the day, I coughed up a little blood. So I don't know yet. I haven't got through the whole day. Maybe I'm going to cough up some blood, but maybe it's over. Maybe the coughing up blood thing is over, and I am getting better. I still haven't went on that fast, though. I keep planning to do it and putting it off another day and another day. Or I'll be like, I'm going to fast today. And then Brittany will be like, have bought me something to eat that I really like. And I'm like, oh, I want that taco. I want that sandwich. And then, which I haven't got on the pay. I haven't told her, hey, I'm fasting today, which I haven't been fasting. I haven't started it yet. I'm so proud of her. You know, it's like, from the time I got with her till now, her like character development and her skill acquisition and her like progress has just been phenomenal. The rate at which she's learned things, the rate at which she's taken on responsibilities, it's like almost every day she becomes more helpful than the day before. She's just so amazing. I love Brittany so much. And it's just, I had pretty much given up to thinking that, you know, fuck these women. They are super entitled and they want everything for nothing. And I was just thinking, nature's tricked men with a high sex drive, and that's just got it's made for us to just so that we women can readily exploit us, and that it's a trap and a trick. You know, like these women are just not worth being with at all. And there really are good women out there. There's not as many good women out there as women try to say there is. Because a woman could be an absolutely terrible woman. That if you was to judge her by if she was a man, she might have some things that would make her good. But but she's not there's not that many good women. Like, there's a lot of women that have. A woman can have children and reproduce and never figure out anything about men because men just have such a high sex drive and such a strong desire to reproduce. But if a man's going to get with a woman, he's got to know something about female nature. He's got to figure women out to be able to be with them. But women don't have to figure out men to be with them. So a lot of women are just kind of like really clueless over what is something that offers value to a man. And they'll think that things qualify them for being a catch that do not qualify for them being a catch. And then all the things that disqualify them as being a good catch, they just marinate in all that stuff. And then they try to shame men and say, men, you shouldn't be a man and you shouldn't want what is natural for a man to want. And over the years, there's been a trend to move away from worshiping of the divine, from being principled, to woman worship. People have stopped worshiping God. They've stopped honoring virtue, and they've started to worship sexual pleasure with women. And so they sacrifice men and they sacrifice babies for women so that women don't have to have any responsibility or have accountability. And this is it's just a horrible trend in the culture. But there really are good women out there. But I'm just saying, every woman thinks she's a good woman. And most of them are not. And I'm not speaking for the whole entire world, just most of it. Because, feminism isn't about equality. It's about trying to pervert and invert the natural order of things. It's about women wanting all the privileges that men have without any of the corresponding responsibilities. That's really all it is. It's not an egalitarian movement at all. And really, even egalitarianism inverts the natural order. So anyway, I had dated different women or knew different women, and you're like vetting them. You're like seeing if is this somebody that I'd want to be with. And then you listen to them talk and they disqualify themselves. And a lot of women are trained to have a certain attitude, a certain entitlement that is really off-putting. And there are women out there that are good women, but the good women are always shamed by the majority of women. Anytime a woman's being a good woman that is actually helpful to be with, that's not just going to make your life worse and not really offer anything and be a burden. Anytime there's a woman that is going to pull her own weight, anytime there's a woman that's going to add value to a man's life, anytime there's a woman that's going to respect a man, or a man comes home tired and exhausted from work paying all the bills and she makes him a sandwich, the other women are going to jump on that woman and be like, why are you making him a sandwich? Why are you doing anything to contribute in society? You're being oppressed. They talk about being barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen as if that's a bad thing, So there's anytime a woman tries to be a good woman, there'll be 99 women trying to shame her out of it. But they are out there. But don't be delusional. Don't think it's most of them. Every man that gets wrecked by a bad woman, when he married her, he thought she was a good woman, but she was acting until she got that ring on, But I just gotta say, I'm just so lucky to have found Brittany. It's just it's so amazing. It's really a good thing if you have a good woman. It is a very good thing. And I'm not here. I'm saying that about women but it's really the whole culture. The same can be said about men. There's not as many good men as there used to be. But men are not as collectivist as women. You know, like women, men don't have an equivalent to like the sisterhood or there's not. You know, if one woman is able to do something, they're all going to want to do it. It's very like when the women in Saudi Arabia find out that women in other countries are driving cars, all of a sudden they want to drive cars. So now that there's the internet and everybody can see what everybody else has got and everything, the inversion of the natural order, this cancer called feminism, is just beginning to spread and corrupt all of societies. And like feminism and communism are just tools to destroy civilization. They really have no merit in them whatsoever. They're born out of resentment and like just a basic misunderstanding of human nature as a whole. Can you get me food? Can you get me food? Willow Kingworth. I got 4 roosters. I got 4 extra roosters. None of the fruit trees have fruit on them right now at this time of the season. And I don't know what country you're in. Kingsworth. Can I get you food? Maybe. It depends. It kind of depends on logistics. Like how far away are you from me? Will the food be able to get through the mail before going bad? I don't know. I could probably get you food. You could probably get your own self food too. I'm not saying that, you know, in a bad way, but like a lot of times where there's a will, there's a way. A lot of times there's already a way to get what you want. You might just not see it. If there's a lot of crops that don't take very long to grow that can grow in like a mason jar. There's a lot of crops that you could sweep up your house or the street and get enough dirt to put in a thrown away cup, put a seed in it and grow. Like anyway, I don't know your address. I don't know any of that. So, but I don't want no one starving. Like where you at? If you're in Palestine, I'd like to get you some food, but it's not easy to do. The Jews just take it and fence it in and shoot anybody that tries to get to it. China's airdrop, so I don't really own an airplane. I don't own a cargo plane. I don't know where you're at, asking if I can get you food. If I would have, could, I might. But another thing that is a factor is if you're a child or if you're a woman, I'm more likely to have sympathy and get you food. Whereas if you're a man, I'm more like, dude, get a job, buy your own food. Like you're a man, you're supposed to be making food. Have you tried planting a garden? Have you tried going hunting? So it kind of depends. If you're in a situation where you can't get the food, but if you're a man that's able-bodied that can work or farm or fish or something like that, I'm not single anymore. But when I was a single man, I would have said like, look, all of us men are in competition to get wealth and status, to attract women. And part of that is a competition to be a provider. And I think it's kind of a duty as men to provide for women and children. The extra muscle we have on our skeleton, the extra muscle men have, it's not just for us. We're able to easily do enough labor to make surplus to provide for women and children. So I kind of feel like it's the duty of men to provide for women and children, but I don't really feel a duty to provide for men. I really don't. Like I would say, like I know that disasters happen and there's situations where I would give food to men, but most of the time I would share food with women and children, and I'd tell the man to just like, it's part of your job to be making food, dude. Go hunt, go fish, go farm. If you're a vegetarian, you're too hungry, give that shit up. It's not worth it. Go hunting, go something. If you just some kind of disaster, displaced by war, there's things that happen, crop failures due to drought. There's things that happen that people can't control that put people in situations where I would be sympathetic and I would give them food. But if I had my way, I would abolish food stamps, and I would not abolish charity, but I would say, look, if you're not working as a man, I don't say this to women and children, but as a man, if you're a man and you're not working, you don't even deserve to eat. You really don't. Like, men have to eat more calories than women, and we have more muscle on our body so that we can do surplus labor, surplus protection, and provide for women and children. So if you're a man and you're not doing anything to produce food or produce wealth or provide for women and children, you're kind of like a super parasite, because now you're going to need even more calories and you're not contributing anything. So it really just depends. I work, and I work really hard sometimes, and I've had other men try to guilt trip me into giving away what I work for to them for nothing. Like, there's this guy, he's got a channel where he's homeless, but he's not really homeless. People donate him a lot of money to him because he says he's homeless, and he can afford to eat a Dairy Queen every day and stay in a hotel every night and buy vapes and buy new equipment and stuff. And he says, he's always saying for men to send him money. And I just think that he should, nobody should send that man money. And they're enabling him to never better himself. As long as you've got a belly full, as long as you got free food filling your belly up, you're never going to be motivated to get a job and contribute to society. Now, some people live in places where there's a lot of nepotism, where everybody can't have a job. There's a shortage of jobs, and the jobs are monopolized by people who are related to the king or related to the nobles, or you got to pay a bribe. Or like, there's countries where there's so much corruption and red tape that you got to get permission from the mayor to even have a job. You got to have a meeting with the mayor to get approved to be able to even qualify to get an application for a job. So I understand that, like, not everybody's in the land of opportunity where it's easy for them to get a job. But almost everybody can till the soil. Almost everybody can plant seeds. Almost everybody can fish, hunt. And sometimes you got to just move your location. Sometimes you're just in a bad spot. Sometimes you just got to leave the city, go to where food is. But also, I'm not going to watch anyone just like starve to death and not feel some type of compassion. But I don't know where you're at. I don't know how far you are away. And I don't know none of that. But I got to go to work.